Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to the YouTube channel. I am so excited to bring this interview to you today. It's with the one and only Ballers Blockchain, Steve. So before we get into it, I just wanted to take a second to say thank you to him for coming on and making the time. We're on completely different schedules. He's in Australia and I'm on the West Coast. So the fact that he took the time to come onto the channel and share his story with us is just absolutely incredible. He's done so much for the Top Shot community. In this interview, we talk a lot about how he got started on NBA Top Shot, how he got started in his YouTube channel, and some of the pivotal moments that he's had as a YouTube creator over the past 8 months or so, doing videos on NBA Top Shot. A true original to NBA Top Shot YouTube, and most likely the first person that anyone's going to see when they get into Top Shot and start searching up YouTube videos. So it's an honor to have him on the show. I hope you enjoy it. We also have a ton of fun talking about some of our favorite moments and just a bunch of other stuff NBA Top Shot. So again, thanks so much, Steve, and I hope you all enjoyed this episode. All right, what is going on, Top Shot people? This is Nifty Sports. I'm here with Ballers Blockchain, Steve. Steve, I'm so excited to have you on the YouTube channel today. You are episode 49 of the YouTube channel, gearing up for the 50th coming up this Sunday. Super excited. Everyone that's subscribing and watching this right now, I asked Steve, is there anything that you want to talk about? He said anything that's good for your subscribers. So I think it's super cool. I want to get into his story on Top Shot, how he got into it, how he started creating videos, because a lot of the people that are going to be watching this in the future, Steve will be the face of Top Shot, right? I mean, if they're going on YouTube and looking up what to do on Top Shot, chances are they're going to find Steve first. And I think that's just incredible. So I'm really excited to hear his story. When I say that, Steve, how does that feel? How does it feel to be
surreal? Yeah, surreal. And it still surprises me that I guess that, there's as many viewers or whatever as there is. I'd wanted to start a channel for a while. I just never really had the platform or something to talk about that I was passionate about or I didn't procrastinate on. So yeah, it kind of blows me away. Like they're low numbers. Like they're not like a million. But they're a lot more than I thought they would be, in only, I don't know, what is 6-7 months of making videos.
Yeah, well, not yet. I mean, as Top Shot grows, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets there at one point.
Yeah, who knows? Really, I mean, we're all riding that same wave, aren't we? So, and we're all passionate about it.
Definitely. It's been, I know for me, at least, it's been a lot of fun, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but starting the YouTube channel really opened my eyes to the community that Top Shot is. So it's been amazing. Thank you for coming on to the show. So let's hear it. How did you get started in NBA Top Shot? What made you open up an account and buy your first moment?
So I listened to NBA podcasts like The Ringer, Kevin O'Connor, Chris Vernon, and they mentioned it. I looked into it. I didn't open I didn't open an account at first. Probably took me another couple of weeks before I opened an account and just randomly bought a Ja Morant moment just to, be involved and say I've done it or whatever. That got me a gift moment or something. And then it went viral in February and I started really researching it. When Brian Rinhorst, ESPN's article came out, it started being on the jump. And like everyone else, everyone got serious about it. And then I remember it was like March 6th or something like that. I just decided to start making videos. I can't remember why. I just started. I just felt compelled to turn the camera on. And the first ones, they were terrible videos. But I kept making it after that. At one point, I was making them like every day because there was just always something happening. And there was a demand there. And to my surprise, people started watching.
Yeah, that's amazing. It was moving super fast back then. Do you remember how much you paid for the Ja Morant by any chance?
Yeah, it was only like $25 or something like that. So it was before the bull run. Yeah. But hey, it went to like, I don't know, 200-300 and I never sold it. I've still got it. So there's all sorts of stuff. I could have made a fair bit of money if I sold like my LeBron No Look 3 or something at the right time when it was like $2,500. But we didn't know back then. We were dumb. We were young and dumb back then in that journey. And now it's like $350 and it went all the way down to $250. So You know, we're not experts all the time. You know, timing the top and the bottom is very difficult. So yeah, I could have made a lot of money as everyone, but we were all buying instead of selling back then.
For sure. The reason I ask specifically is, guys, I think Ja Morant, that probably the exact Ja Morant moment that you're talking about was the second moment that I ever purchased on Top Shot, and I paid 200 for it. So I
Yeah,
uh, I also sold it at a heavy loss because I was like, this thing's going down. I need to get my cash back. It's like a stop loss type thing for me, and we'll
yeah,
see. I ended up, putting more into it, but and I do still
same.
own the moment. I bought back into it super low, but it's funny how things work out. So you started the YouTube channel just randomly. One of the things that I've noticed is just it's so awesome that I've watched a lot of Top Shot content, right? Whether it's yours or someone else's. I just think it's really cool, like how unique of a voice everyone has in Top Shot,
Mm,
right? Like no matter who they are, like all of their journeys and their perspectives are a little bit different. So it's like depending on when you got in, how much money you put into it, what type of players you like to collect, whether or not you like to do challenges. Like it could just go in a myriad of different ways. And I think that's something awesome that each person brings kind of uniquely to the table.
yeah.
What would you say, is the main, goal or, for you to provide to your users or sorry, your subscribers?
Uh, I would summarize it as value. So first of all, I read every comment and I try to reply to every comment, but if there's a giveaway or something, it's not always possible. And I have that gives you a fair understanding of like the voice or the concerns or the vibe of what's going on, the demand of what you're meant to make. So people want to make sort of informed decisions on the platform. People don't want to get burnt financially, but they want to collect, as best they can and bootstrap and upscale on the platform, work their way up from commons to rares and things like that. So they just want to make informed decisions. They want to get their head around collector score. They want to know what what they're able to do in future. It's not all about sort of just like reporting on the news. Oh, this happened, but it's over now. I try to help them on the journey and how best to make informed decisions. Like example, and it blows my mind. Every pack drop, people sell in the first 15 minutes, or 5 minutes or 5 seconds. And I keep saying, just don't sell in the first hour or two because it just fluctuates so much. You don't know what your fair market value is yet, and that's going to happen this Friday with the rare run it backs for the WNBA. Hopefully, people hold a bit longer, but yeah, just things like that, just tips that allow people to make informed decisions and do what they want to do on the platform without getting burnt or making mistakes or things like that, and have fun. So yeah, I probably rambled a bit there, but just trying to make informed decisions and nice tips and tools and various other things.
Yeah, that's amazing. You do it in such an awesome way too. And the content that you put out is always just so spot on. And I think sometimes you said you rambled right there, but you totally didn't. I feel like sometimes I do. And I'm like, I watch your videos sometimes. I was like, how did Steve do that in 10 minutes where it would have taken me 20 minutes to make the same video on the
Editing.
same topic?
Believe me, for every 10 minutes that there's me talking concisely, there's another 10 minutes of me just sitting there thinking or saying and ah. So yeah, editing is, and this is why I think I'm rambling because I'm not editing this out. But yeah, it's I try to keep it short and concise so people can get the info as quick as possible without wasting any time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have similar goals on my channel too. I think one of the reasons why I started mine was to, again, I mean, just like you said, so you can add value to people, right, and give them, the tools to make informed decisions. But really, it's to help them learn from my mistakes because I made a ton of them, and whether they
Yeah.
were mistakes or not, whether it was just the time on the platform or not, like things have definitely ironed out since we got started. And there definitely will be people making the same mistakes that we did come season 3, come season 4, and so on and so forth, right? So if they have like some experience behind their belts with people like us who have been there, I think it just makes the journey a little bit more smooth. One of my main things is like when people get started, I always say, no matter what, whatever budget you have, put 25% in or 50% in. Don't go all in at the very beginning because you're going to want to have dapper. There may be dips. There may be more opportunities to be patient and buy and all that good stuff. So, and you really like, need the time in the market to know exactly like what's going on. Whether it's, I always kind of say I'm an art rather than a science type of person. There's all the tools out there and the graphs and the science that you can put into like making your buys, but there's also just kind of a feel of what the market's doing. And if there's not a lot of volume going on, and if you're watching these moments that you really want to pick up, like there may be a time to do that and maybe a time not to. So experience, I think, kind of goes a long way. And I try to get that onto people as much as early as I possibly can. So,
I mean, even with experience, like it's such a complex ecosystem.
Oh, yeah.
You need a lot of those third-party tools to measure and observe those market trends. And if you switch off for a week, and you might not know what's going on because Roa might have said something and then the market had a massive, boost and reaction of confidence from it, and these sort of things happen. So Absolutely. Yeah, for me, it's just adding value and trying to just help people, whatever they're trying to do.
Totally. Yeah, the tools are so important too. It's like one of the things that I got really burned hard on is that I really didn't know the roadmap when I started, and that they don't release all the moments at once. I saw out of 15,000, there's 15,000 of them out there. And it's like, oh no, half of the supply still hasn't been released to the market, and they're inflated, So yeah, that's amazing. What do you think are some of the pivotal moments in your time in Top Shot as not only a collector, but also as like a content creator? You can answer it either way you want to.
It's hard now because time's flown so fast. Like it amazes me. It's only been 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Making content, at least anyway. I joined late February, and I think I purchased my first moment on February 1st or something like that. But yeah, there was a turning point where we were speaking offline about it. There was a video that I almost didn't make, and it ended up being my most viewed video. I was tired, but the video before, I realized how financially people had lost a fair bit of money by buying too much in February, early March, and then the market dipping, obviously, which is well documented, and I think you and I are the same there. We suffered the same thing. And from there, it was like, okay, it's not just me making silly videos, having funny alter egos and making skits, but also being informative. But I got a sense of responsibility. It was just like, okay, people are actually watching now, and people are actually making decisions based on what I say. So I need to be really conscious about what I say, and it urged me to make a video that was off the cuff, unedited, and it was one of my highest performers. And because a lot of people were down on their luck, and I think that was the title of the video. And from there, I guess the ethos also was to give back, keep propping people up, which is the NFT community ethos, really, if unwritten. So I'd say that was a pivotal moment for me. And from there, it's always been about just adding value and to whatever the collector needs. But yeah, that was a big moment.
That's awesome. That was such an amazing video. And, like I said, I watched it again today before this interview just because I remember it, like 6 months later, I remember being on my lunch break at work and having my AirPods in and being like, okay, this is cool. Like the times were just, my collection was probably down 80%, terribly just destroyed. It got slaughtered. Right. And
I didn't quite understand that to that extent, because I'd put in money. So I'd probably put in about 1,300 USD. So not as much as a lot of people. Right. Yeah. I put in as much as I think that, first of all, I put in what I thought I could get away with the wife. Right. And then it got to a point, it was like, I want to put in more money. But then also what I'm also thinking at the same time is, does that set a good example to viewers? If my message is just chuck more money at it, is that the right message? So that's something I've toiled with ever since then as well. And I've been very conscious about putting more money in. My account, though, has never been in the red. Even though I joined it sort of like early, but I bought a lot of stuff at the wrong time. If you've watched my videos, like, I'll give you an example of a silly purchase. I bought Kelly Oubre for like $75. I think he's under $10 now, because I couldn't afford Steph Curry. There were no cheap Steph Currys at the time. So I made heaps of mistakes, but yeah, my solution has never been to just throw more money back at it, because I'm also conscious of, now the downside of that is my collector score is not as large as a lot of content creators at the moment, but the upside is I think it sends the right message in that, hey, I'll just try and bootstrap. I won't try and scale by throwing more funds at it,
Yep.
which there has been maybe a month ago that was a good time to do that in the dip of the dips.
Yep.
But again, timing the top and timing the bottom are very hard to do. So I'll just try to set a decent example and not, skew people down the wrong path.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's super responsible too. And I obviously, I mean, I do my best to do the same thing as well. I didn't even really create my channel until it pretty much was the dip of the dip, and I started to turn back around. I think that point for me was, I got lucky enough to get a hollow icon pack in series 2.
Yeah.
And once I got that, right, there was like kind of some other personal financial stuff going on that kind of just timed right,
Nice.
I was selling my house and stuff like that. So it just kind of timed right as to put a little bit more money into it. And then the money that I did put in was basically on the dip of the dips, and was able to
Yeah.
ride that wave back up pretty nicely. So it's definitely been fun. Do you have, do you have any goals in terms of, your collection? Who do you like collecting? And
Yeah. I'd like to get some pack luck and get a hollow icon pack like you.
hey, I missed out on almost every single pack except for a nice hollow icon. So, and that was,
Yeah.
what, to be honest with you, it was the $299 one. So even better.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've lucked out on every single one, and the only rare pack I've scored on is the All Star game, and I got Jokic, and I flipped him pretty quickly again because it was, people were starting high, so I sold it quick, and now he's half the price or whatever that is now. So I got some dapper out of it, and I was able to play. I haven't struck on any legendaries. I'm hoping to on Friday get a rare pack because I'm excited about that. And literally, Lauren Jackson, who's an Aussie export, was just minted, like I think 3-time MVP. So I'm very excited about that. I've seen her play. So I'll be going after that on Friday or Saturday my time. But yeah, look, I don't get pack luck. So, and it's a game changer as well when you get pack luck, especially with some of those hollow icons in the past, especially pre-collector score. If you were able to score on some of them when you didn't need a collector score to grab one, but your chances were super low. But yeah, that's probably my only gripe with what I think could change on Top Shot, having a pack luck element layered on top of collector score. I think that'd be a perfect system. I don't know if that's possible. I'm not a developer, but something like that I think would even the playing field for a lot of people. But yeah, like, what was the question? What do I want to collect? I've never felt more Aussie than I have on Top Shot. I don't feel Aussie in real life, really, which is weird because I'm probably known as the Aussie Top Shot dude. But I collect all the Aussies, but except for Andrew Bogut because he's just been out of my reach. If it weren't for him, I'd have the full Golden State Warriors, who I love because I love Steph Curry. The pre-Durant Warriors were like one of my favorite teams ever. So I have all those DVDs. And yeah, I just buy players I like, potential I like, and Aussies, which I don't know, it wasn't a conscious choice. It just seems to have happened that way.
Nice. How did you become a Warriors fan? Just because of Curry, or?
Yeah, it was just Curry. I even before their first real playoff run, before their first championship in this decade, I just really enjoyed watching them play. Like, I'm 5'10", Steph's a little guy, dancing around big guys. I just always loved watching him play.
Yeah.
And those pre-Durant Warriors were really, really fun to watch. I loved it. And I still loved watching the Durant Warriors as well, but it just felt like kind of a cheat code after that. So, and even still, like when you're watching a game, you get that feeling of who you're barracking for. Like sometimes you can go into a game thinking I'm a neutral, and you start barracking for one of those teams. The Warriors have always been that for me. Even last year, following the players that you would have heard less about, like Jordan Poole, I enjoyed watching them play. So yeah, invariably they've just become my team at the moment. Even though I'm not geographically locked into a US team and never have been, I always tend to float around in who I follow. But yeah, no, I really enjoy watching the Warriors and especially Steph Curry lighting it up. So it'll be interesting to see what they do this year.
I hope they do well. You know what? One of the things about Steph Curry on the platform, and I don't really have many Steph Curry moments. I really thought about buying his Series 2 MGLE, and I should have when I was like looking at it during that dip because it's taken off now and probably out of reach.
Yeah.
But one of my things with that, the whole Curry and the whole Warriors is like, it's tough to see them on the platform without a championship badge, because you think about them winning championships, and LeBron's got one and now Giannis has got one. But even a playoff moment from Curry, I think is going to be amazing. So if they can make the playoffs next year, and if they, somehow make the playoffs and Steph gets, to the second or third, the semifinals where he can get a rare moment if they're structured that way, that is going to be like, for me, I think the most crazy cool, like Steph Curry moment, because I really like, for me, I like the ones with context, right? Like I like, the moments where I was watching the game, like the Kevin Durant, when he sent it into overtime in Game 7. I remember being at the bar. I remember seeing that and going crazy. Like that's one of my favorite things about Top Shot is that you can actually, it's the whole own the moment thing, right? So,
and how many of like the top 100 plays were like actually moments in the end? Because like the moment selection has been spot on, like for the last 4, 5, 6 months.
Yep. It started off not so great, but then things kind of turned the corner come April, May, when they started minting new moments.
Basically everything after the 15K sort of when they started doing 30s, like they started getting really good.
Yeah, it was amazing. So this is kind of, I think, a really good transition for me. So I don't know if you remember this, but when I commented on your video reaching out the first time, I said, hey, Steve, I've been following your channel. You kind of inspired me to make my YouTube channel. I've been watching your stuff for forever. I want to gift you a moment to kind of pay it forward to, all the creating that you've done and the community building that you've done too. So I did buy you a moment. I do remember. Right? I bought you a moment, but I decided to switch it up and give you something else.
That sounds dodgy.
Let me tell you why. I love gifting moments, right? And I noticed that the moment that I purchased for you was one that was already in your collection.
So are you going to tell me what it is? And you don't have to gift me anything, by the way. It amazes me that people do this. And this is, again, a testament to like the Top Shot community. But I'm always trying to give, and then people try to give to me for creating, and it just makes this circle of gifting.
It's amazing. No, yeah. I'm giving you something. I really want to. And I want to make sure that you like it too, because literally gifting, I think, is one of my favorite parts of the platform because you can be thoughtful in what you do, right? It's like, people have done that for me before. And some of my giveaways, I've said, just put your Top Shot name in. I'll go look at your collection and I'll give you something that I think is cool for it, So like, there's like thought and reasons behind it, right? So the initial one, I think it was right after the video that you posted where you did this Seeing Stars giveaway. And you gave away the Curry. You opened the pack, and you're like, "That's the one moment that I wanted."
But I remember this specifically. His name is Jake the Freak on Discord and Twitter, and he gave it back because he said, "No, it's going back to you."
Oh, that's awesome.
And I said the natural, no, you want it, you keep it. No, he said, no, it's one of your favorite moments. You're having it back. So he actually gave that back to me.
That's amazing. I didn't know how it got back to you or if you bought it or whatever, but I pulled the trigger on it. I was like, this one's for Steve. And then I went to look at your collection. I'm like, oh, he has it already,
Yeah, that's why he gave it back. And that's, again, one of my viewers. He's in our Discord as well. And he just gave it back.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, rather than have two of those, I wanted to pass on one of my favorite moments to you on the whole entire Top Shot platform. And let me ask you this first, because I want to make sure that you like it, And I looked at your collection and I'm like, why does Steve not have any Jason Tatum moments? Do you have anything against Jason Tatum or the Celtics at all?
No, I've actually seen him play in Australia here. I really like him. Nothing against the Celtics. Like I love him and Brown. They're awesome. The team built around them has been here and there. So no, nothing against the Celtics. I really like it.
So, because I look at your collection, I said, look, Steve's got John Morant, he's got Donovan, he's got Booker, he's got LaMelo, Zion, no Jason Tatum.
Do I not? Okay.
So I'm giving you the Jason Tatum 40K moment. And what's so special about the 40K moment is that he dropped 60 points in that game.
I know, yeah.
So there is only...
You picked a good
It's
one, man. That's got an epic thumbnail as well. I think he's pointing to the
yes,
crowd or
it's
something.
amazing.
And I actually remember looking at that thinking, yeah, I don't have one of them and I probably should. And it was on Twitter saying, hey, you can get that 60-point moment, probably nothing or something like that. Yeah, no, that's a good choice, man. I haven't consciously realized I didn't have a Tatum in my collection.
Yeah, no Tatum's in your collection, so I'm happy to give you your first one. I'm going to gift that over to you. I stacked those because I love them so much. I mean,
Oh, nice.
I looked it up. I mean, there's only 29 players ever who have scored 60 points. So,
Yeah,
there,
it's unique, underrated.
yeah. And there's, two of them. It's crazy. That's another thing that's awesome about Top Shot is two of those actual games are on the Top Shot platform, the Bradley Beal
Yeah.
MGLE and then the Jason Tatum 40K. So I'll send that over to you just as a thank you. So what do you think? I was talking about this to you earlier too. If you had like a holy grail moment on the platform, if somebody gave you a bunch of ETH or a huge dapper just showed up tomorrow and you couldn't spend it anywhere else, what are some of your top moments that you'd look at?
So if I got Bogut, that would be all the Aussies on the platform I would have.
Nice.
But he's obviously a runner back, and it's a behind the back pass to Curry as well. So it's kind of a double whammy for me. That'd be cool.
I know it is. Yep.
Not many people will get excited about Bogut, let's be honest. But it would mean a bit more to me if I was able to get that early, like maybe Top Shot debut Steph Curry or something like that would be something really to build towards.
Nice.
Pardon me. Something like that would be amazing. I think he's got some cool moments that are in Series 1. So yeah, I'd probably say those two things would be my holy grails. And obviously everyone wants LeBron, this and that, but I actually like Curry a lot more. And there's some. You might even say Zion Series 1 as well. Top Shot debuts, that would be absolutely unbelievable. Like the block, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, they're pie in the sky a little bit, especially the Zion. But yeah, if there was a bunch of ETH dropped in, I'd probably be one eye on them.
Yeah, no, good, excellent choices. Excellent choices. I know one of the things that's kind of crazy to think about is that, I'm looking at these moments and I'm like, when is, are these going to be possible one day or are these going to be out of reach forever? It's like, I don't want to spend a house on a Top Shot moment, it's like.
Yeah, I say LeBron, he's probably already out of reach for some of those. Whereas, could you imagine a Series 1 Steph when Steph retires? What's going to happen to that moment? It's a bit shorter term than saying a Zion Series 1 or something like that because he's further down the line. So, yeah, there's a couple of aspects to my thought process there, but obviously he's my favorite player as well.
Nice. Yeah. No, great choices. I think a couple of mine, I think definitely for me, the LeBron finals moment, like there's the Kobe tribute, there's the Top Shot debut. The finals moment's the one that actually just broke the record. And I think when you associate somebody with the championship, I mean, especially as a Laker fan, it's because it's got the championship badge on there because I remember seeing the play because, it's the championship finals. Like that would be up there, the Giannis run it back. And then like one of the Jason Tatum Top Shot debuts. So
yeah, nice. So you're a big Jason Tatum fan, are you?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my favorite guys to collect on the platform. I just think he's got so much upside,
Oh, yeah.
Like Tatum and Booker, those two guys, Donovan Mitchell too, guys that aren't quite like, Steph Curry, LeBron yet, they're not gold. The gold.
I love Donovan Mitchell. I saw him play in Australia as well. Just before COVID, or the 6 months before COVID, they came down to Australia, Team USA. Didn't have Durant or Curry or anyone like that, but it had like your Donovan Mitchells, your Tatums, your Browns, your Kembers. I can't remember anyone else. I don't think it had Booker. But yeah, I got to see him play down here. So that was really cool. And I really like Donovan Mitchell. Like he's just, especially when he does his spider dunks, they're just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's insane. Have you seen the All-Star game dunk that he has? Check it out.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, those guys, they're so young and they're so talented and humble guys, so that's why I like those three guys. And then obviously, I love Curry and LeBron too, but big Tatum guy. I mean, I think he's got a ton of potential. He's fun to watch. So do you think, moving on, and we're almost kind of ready to wrap it up unless you want to talk about anything, but I guess my final question is looking into Series 3, Season 3. Do you think there's any chance that these S1 and S2 moments reach February prices again? Or, what's it going to take to get there? What do you think? What do you see happening in, Top Shot Series 3 with new users coming in and new moments being minted and just the market being a completely still new but growing market?
Just reading between the lines, obviously we're going to get higher mint counts. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes as high as 100 or 200K. Always have.
Wow.
Because I think there's going to be a lot of. I think they might even go as low as $1 moments again. I think there's going to be a very healthy trade ticket market there, where you can quite easily get trade tickets and still get your rares and your legendaries for those rare and legendary prices. That scarcity will be there. Will Series 1 and Series 2 return to those February prices? I think yes. It might take 2 years. That take might not last too long in Top Shot time. But I think when you're thinking about a lifetime project, which is the way Dapper has said that they are thinking about it, in 10 years' time, I can very easily imagine those things going back to those very high prices. Just not in the short term. Some of them might, because if someone gets retired or injured or something like that, or like JJ Redick the other day, only obviously on a cheaper moment, he had one moment, so the entire platform was so focused on one moment all of a sudden, and so it started at $15 and ran up all the way to 70, and settled down, but the reaction was swift, and so things like that might happen as well. You might have a player that's all of a sudden gone from the platform, like no more. And that price might run up in that sense. So there'll be extenuating circumstances. But overall, I actually think there's going to be some very cheap moments in S3, very accessible moments, because I think that's what they want. And that's probably why also we've got that tier in between common and rare, the fandom tier, obviously for quests and things, but also it hovers in between that scarcity level, and that accessibility level that you can scale up from and bootstrap again. So, I think also what I'm really looking forward to is the S3 roadmap that we're expecting sometime before the season. So a lot of people are speculating that Run It Back will probably be to celebrate the start of the season, to give them time to play some games for, the first base set Series 3, for example. But the roadmap will be very interesting to analyze and dissect. It'll probably take a while, because apparently we're going to get one and we'll be able to analyze what's going on and how to collect during the season. So, I expect some changes. I expect some learnings. But I also expect a lot more of the same as well, like your MGLEs, for example.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the roadmap is something that's like probably the most important thing for new people coming in, right? You talk about that responsibility that we talked about, at the beginning of this video, where it's like not knowing the roadmap is, like the Cool Cats roadmap. I think I got into Cool Cats and I started doing the Cool Cats challenges, and I'm like, when is this going to end? When my bank account is gone? Or it just kept on going and going and going. And then the master challenge, and then, you don't know if it's going to make it, or you don't know if it is going to make it, so it's like a lot of moving pieces, but knowing the roadmap is just putting yourself in, the best position to make those decisions. And honestly, like some of the stuff is always, people appreciate us taking the time to go in and read the articles, because some stuff's too long, don't read, and some stuff's just kind of intricate the way that they put it. It's like you really have to read it through a couple times. But I think
they've adjusted as well. Like they've started doing the rip, the short, too late, didn't read videos in reaction to like what we're doing, breaking it down, because people don't want to read. Like I work in marketing, and people they don't want to read. You put that many mental calories or roadblocks in front of people, they just don't want to do it. So they just want to be told this means this means this, it means this, and then people are like, okay, that's it. So I think they've been getting better and better and better every month about their communication and the launches that they do. Like when they launched WNBA, there were no leaks. There were hints way back in January, February, but nothing since. So they've been pretty sharp lately, I think.
Definitely. No, I agree with you. I think I think that they've overall, even kind of being, starting, right, and the market crashing when I started, like I think through and through it all the way, I think I've been pretty happy with the way that they've communicated to collectors, and I've always respected that about them. And even if there's something that I didn't like, they had their reasons for it, and I respected it. And, if they made a mistake, they course corrected pretty quickly,
Yeah.
So it's something that I respect about, what they're doing behind the scenes are there too, and it's cool to see, like the community too, just going back to it. It's like when I started on Top Shot, I didn't even know what Discord was. I had to like ask my brother. I was like, am I going to get scammed on this Discord thing? He's like, no, I have some for my trading accounts. Like, it's good. You can sign up for it. I'm like, all right. And like the chatter that goes on in it all the time, and like the updates and the way that people communicate, I mean, it's a cool part of the, community, and long-term it's going to be, it's just a really cool thing. So
yeah, for sure. And Discord's one of those things, and Twitter, a lot of people join because of Top Shot. So NFTs, Discord, Twitter, Top Shot's given a hell bit of boost too.
Sure, for sure. Before we wrap it up, is there anything else that you wanted to chat about, or anything like that?
So I want to give you a moment now. So who's in your collection that's not?
Who's in my collection that is what?
Isn't in your collection?
Oh, who do I not have?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, let me see here. Who do I not have in my collection? Do you have any double stack of Australian guys? I don't know if I have a lot of Australian guys.
Oh yeah. I've got a lot of Joe Ingles and Paddy Mills. That's well documented. Ben Simmons as well, I think, but you probably don't want him at the moment. He's a bit of a PR negative EV at the moment. But yeah, I do have plenty of Aussies that I can give you. I didn't think that would be your bag though.
I think it's because it's from you and it's an Aussie. I think it would be amazing. I mean, send me I think I do have one Patty Mills, right? And I don't know which Patty Mills moment it is, but to get an Aussie from you, I think that would be amazing.
And someone else did that actually as well. They were like, oh, I'll give you a moment, but can you give me a moment so I can say this is from you? And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And so he made a collection of, he made a showcase of gifts that he'd received from personalities or content creators and stuff like that. And they were all special to him that way. So that was kind of cool. It's kind of like the autograph without the autograph, but I thought that was a good idea.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I have one. I mean, most of the gifts that people give over to me are for, giveaways, right? To give back. But there's a couple times where I think it's only been 2 so far. So you'd be the third that people have sent over moments and said, this one's for you, Eric, and that's like in my forever vault, like it's meaningful.
Yeah.
It's never going anywhere, like I would never sell that moment or anything. Somebody gifted me a moment, and I actually gifted it to somebody so that they can use for a challenge, and they promised to gift it back. So I trust them on that. I'll get that one back.
I do that all the time as well. But usually when they find me, they're on, usually Discord, or possibly Twitter as well. It's like, well, what are you going to do? Hide? I know where you are, sort of thing, virtually. Right. But and if they're asking, I don't think they're willing to not give it back as well, because the whole chain would see it and possibly be shamed for it. And that's happened with multi-accounters. We can see everything, so why be a jerk? Someone's going to see it anyway.
Yeah, no, I know for sure. I know, and it's true. I mean, it's weird. It's not weird because it's the way it should be, but there's a level of trust there, with especially people that have been, you see them commenting on your channel and encouraging you. The encouragement is just amazing. I remember the first time somebody said to me, don't let the haters keep you down. I'm like, I haven't really had any haters, maybe I'm not just big enough yet. There's probably going to be haters at some point, but
I said to someone the other day, have I been on Twitter? Because I've never been in a Twitter argument.
What's that?
I said to someone the other day, have you really been on Twitter if you haven't been in a Twitter argument before? Because I haven't been in a Twitter argument before. It's just I don't know. It's just a conscious decision. I don't put out tweets that I guess spark a bunch of controversy or anything like that. The closest I got was probably recently, because I did a Kobe Bryant NFT video, and there's obviously been a lot of chatter around that and, who's the team and this and that. And yeah, but a lot of people have opinions on that. It's probably the closest I've been. Other than that, I haven't been able to get into a Twitter argument.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'll start one with you.
Yeah, let's do a big Twitter argument back and forth. No, that's a good point too. I have noticed lately that you've been doing a lot of different other NFT content on your, on your page. And I mean, I started in Top Shot. I just barely minted my first other, NFT 2 days ago, I think. So I'm like super new to the space, but somebody, one of my subscribers and one of the guys that, he's actually the guy that put me onto Twitter. He's like, Eric, you need to get into Twitter. Like, that's where it's at. People are like awesome over there. He actually like was kind of giving me the breakdown, called me on Discord. He's like, okay, like if you're getting into the NFT space for the first time outside of Top Shot, like you should know a couple of these things. So it's just awesome, But do you plan on continuing to do, have more people on board? I listened to the one about the Mars mission or the moon's mission.
Shot to the moon, yeah.
Really cool. Is that something that you kind of plan on keeping up with as Top Shot goes along too?
Yeah. So I'm going to be Top Shot focused, 100%. But it's just something I noticed in the community as well, that there's a lot of people who have other NFTs, and Top Shot's open the world to the NFT world to people. So it's just in response to my viewers, essentially, that, there are other NFTs out there. I'm very conscious about what goes on there, though, and who, because, there's a certain responsibility there and due diligence. But other than that, there will be some NFTs. Some people really like it. Some people just want to be there for the Top Shot. But I think it will always be Top Shot focused, but with an element of, hey, this is another easy one to get into. But also with Dapper getting La Liga, I'm a big soccer football fan, mainly Premier League. But with Dapper getting La Liga, I could see myself really get into that. Having kids, and they've got Dr. Zeus, I could see myself getting into that. So I think there's natural branches there. But yeah, I mean, Top Shot and basketball is the ultimate passion for me. And probably that's why it comes across in the videos. Like, there's just passion. I love it. But yeah, I could see myself getting into some of these other ones, especially the ones that aren't confusing and the onboarding isn't a dog's breakfast, with MetaBask and OpenSea and all this and controversy and rug pulls. I'd like to steer clear of those sorts of things, and keep people safe. But yeah, I think there will be some other NFT stuff. But yeah, I think also there's going to be so much going on in Top Shot. There'll be plenty for me there as well. Yeah, super exciting. Good stuff. Awesome, Steve. Well, hey, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you coming on to the channel. The 50th episode is going to be aired right after yours. And I don't know, if you've looked into it at all, but so the giveaways are pretty awesome. It's kind of a cool story because I was chatting with some guy on Twitter, and he's like, hey, Eric, like I was your second subscriber on YouTube, like subscriber. Yeah.
You had one subscriber and I subscribed to your YouTube. So it's awesome just to see that, because I remember back in those days, it was like, oh, that's cool. But he gifted me an Audible book, Giannis, like the Giannis.
Oh, I need to read that.
Yeah. So, basically I thought that was so cool. I've never been gifted like an audiobook before. And I love reading about like the NBA. Like one of my favorite books is 11 Rings, Phil Jackson, Yeah, that's a good one. It's so good. Just like the history behind it and everything like that. So the 50th YouTube episode giveaway is giving away the Giannis Audible book with a Giannis playoff moment, the block. Yeah. And then there's a Thanasis. I'm giving away a Curry 35K, Ja Morant 40K, and a Joel Embiid 40K. So wow. So really excited to do it. It's going to be fun. I'll put this video out there before that. But thanks. And congratulations on 50 videos, man. I mean, that's no small feat. Yeah. No, it's crazy. I never would have thought that I would have started a YouTube channel. Like you said that you wanted to, but you weren't really, there wasn't anything that you're passionate about. Well, I was in coffee. I always thought my YouTube channel would be about coffee because I had a barista course and this and that and a career previous in coffee. But I guess my procrastination spoke to the fact that I didn't want to do it, and I didn't know that. And whereas when Top Shot came along, I was just doing it and not asking why. So, I guess that's that. It's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was like hesitant. I was like, I don't know if I want to put my face on camera, like I don't know if I want to, how to do this or whatever. But, I think one of the things that inspired me was like, I was kind of determined to build the collection back and kind of document the process, kind of keep people, because there's a lot of people that got crushed and they just went away, which
that's
is
it.
unfortunate.
That's
and some
it.
of them are starting to come back now, but, I just kind of wanted to give hope to those people who like just got destroyed. And, there's definitely crafty ways to accelerate the comeback, So
Yeah, that's it. No, it was a pleasure being here, man, and congrats again.
yeah, thanks, Steve. All right, I'm gonna end the video now. Maybe we could chat just for 2 seconds, like before cut off.
Yep, done.
Okay.